Hey there, it's Jenna from the Intern Hustle, and in this video, I'm giving you an email template to follow when sending follow-ups to recruiters after a career fair on your campus, or a virtual career fair if that happens to be the case. Hit that like button if an email template to get you started is what you're looking for, and don't forget to subscribe for new videos every single week on this channel. Hey there, I'm Jenna Ryan from the INTERNHustle.com, and this is Initiative Muscle Monday, helping you to start each week with an intentional step toward a successful future. Let's do this. If you have a career fair coming up and you haven't watched my videos on how to prepare for a career fair, then check these out first. I'll link to them in the description below as well. If you already attended your school's career fair, then let's jump right into the follow-up after the career fair. What should you say in an email to each recruiter that you've met with after a career fair? I'm going to go over two example scenarios in this video. The first is you met a recruiter at a career fair and you connected with them, but you have no interest in applying for an internship or a job with their company at this time. The second scenario is that you met with recruiters and you connected with them at a career fair, and you do intend to apply for an internship or a job with their company as a next step. In both cases, I want you to be timely with this first follow-up email and send it within 24 hours of the career fair. This is an important tactic because a lot of students will fail to do this. Because let's be honest, we're all human and we often get distracted and caught up with other responsibilities and we just forget. But on top of that, it's a lot easier for you to send a thoughtful email when your conversation with a recruiter from a career fair is still fresh and top of mind for you. And if you're more thoughtful about your email, chances are your email will have a better chance of standing out and connecting with the individual that you sent it to. Speaking of thoughtful, go back to the notes that you took from the career fair. You did take notes like I told you to, right? Use your notes to bring up something specific from your conversation with each recruiter, and then use that in your follow-up email to them. Help them out by giving them something to remember you by. They just met with a lot of students at your school, and chances are they're meeting with even more students from a lot of other schools in the days surrounding your career fair. So help them out by giving them context to your conversation when you follow up with them over email. Is there something that the two of you have in common that you bonded over at the career fair? Did something funny happen when you were chatting? Did they share a fun anecdote about their company? Pull from these points in your conversations and the notes that you took on them when you're crafting your follow-up emails. All right, now on to the example email templates. For the first scenario, even if you don't see yourself applying for an internship or a job with this company, I still want you to send the recruiter that you met with a follow-up email. This is important because you never know if you're going to change your mind down the road. Or maybe this recruiter moves on to a different company that you're super interested in applying to. Bottom line, it's easy to close the loop with each recruiter that you've met with by sending them a quick note and thanking them for their time. And it could pay off for you in the future to have already established that baseline relationship with them. So if it's a recruiter that you don't intend to apply for a position with at this time, here's an example email that you can send them. It's an easy email to send. So again, send it within 24 hours and then you can check it off your list and move on to the opportunities that you are serious about. Start off your email by simply saying hello and then their name. You don't need to get really formal with this and say to whom it may concern, and I don't honestly think it's necessary to address them as Mr. or Miss or Mrs. You've already had a conversation with them, you've interacted with them, they've likely given you their business card, so hello and their first name is great. Then you're gonna go on to just let them know that you really enjoyed the conversation with them. Make sure that you're specific about your school's name and the name of your career fair and the date on which you met them, because they get a lot of emails and they meet with a lot of students at career fairs, and you want to make sure that you're identifying exactly what career fair and on what date you met them at. Let them know that you appreciate the time that they took to speak with you and share more information about their company. And then here's where I want you to pull from your notes and pick a specific detail from your conversation with that recruiter, and just do a one-sentence, quick little note to give them the context and just help them connect the dots and remember who you are. And then you're just gonna close it out by saying, as I continue to explore my interests and professional opportunities, I'd love to stay in touch. And let them know that you've sent them an invitation on LinkedIn and that you look forward to connecting further. Thank them for their time and sign it with your name. This email is short and simple, and it keeps the door open for future conversations. And don't forget to actually send the recruiter an invitation to connect on LinkedIn, including a short message with your invitation if this is something that you mentioned that you've done in your email. For the second scenario, the email can make a big difference in determining whether or not you land the internship that you apply for. A lot of people tend to think that they're done when they submit an application with their resume and their cover letter to a company. But if you've watched any of my other videos, then you know how much I stress the importance of follow-up. Persistence is key when it comes to landing an internship, especially a competitive one that a lot of students are applying for. I speak from experience. I had to follow up multiple times to get my foot in the door with 2 of my internships in college. And sometimes with other opportunities, I followed up and never got my foot in the door. Either way, it does not hurt to follow up, but it can definitely hurt your chances if you never follow up. So let's say you met a recruiter at a career fair and you're excited about applying for an internship with their company. There are 2 ways that you can approach the follow-up, depending on how much time you have immediately following the career fair. Strategy 1, you submit all of your application materials, including your resume and cover letter, ASAP, and you send 1 email to this recruiter within 24 hours of meeting them at the career fair. You're thanking them for their time and the information that they shared with you, and you're demonstrating your enthusiasm for the position by letting them know that you've already applied. If you do as I teach at the Intern Hustle and you already have a master brain dump resume of all your experience on hand and ready to go, then it becomes a lot easier to tailor your resume for an opportunity and apply quickly when time is of the essence. Strategy 2, you send an email to the recruiter within 24 hours of the career fair, letting them know how much you enjoyed getting to connect with them and learning more about their company. And you also let them know how you'll be applying to this internship within the next week. Then later that week, you send 1 more email to them after you apply in order to close the loop and let them know that your application materials have been submitted. So for this scenario, strategy 1, you've applied within 24 hours of the career fair. Here's what you can say. Kick it off again with hello and their name. And again, let them know that you really enjoyed connecting with them at the name of the school and career fair on X date, and that you appreciate the time that they took to answer the questions about their company. This is again where you're going to share that short, specific detail from your conversation with them for context, and you're going to pull this from the notes that you have from the conversation with them, and then go on to say, after our conversation, I was so excited about the internship opportunity with your company that I went home and immediately applied online. As you and your team review my application materials, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any additional questions. This is great because it shows how enthusiastic you are and how interested you are in this position, that you took the time to go home and the first thing you did was pull your application materials together and apply. It's also letting them know that if they have any questions, they should definitely reach out to you. Close it out by saying something like, I'm inspired by the work that your company is doing, and I believe that and this is where you want to share a relevant skill or a bit of experience that you have to this company in this position, would allow me to add value to your team as an intern in a meaningful way. In addition to applying, I sent you an invitation on LinkedIn, and I look forward to connecting further. Thanks again for your time, and sign it off with your name. For this second scenario that we're going through, where you do want to apply to this company, you're interested in it, so in your follow-up, you want to make sure that you're expressing interest in this specific internship position, but maybe you didn't have your materials ready and it wasn't in the cards for you to apply within 24 hours. The second way that you can approach this is still by sending the recruiter an email within 24 hours expressing your interest, but letting them know that the application is forthcoming. And this is a pretty similar email to the last one that I just reviewed with you, but it does have some slight changes. So again, hello and their name. This first paragraph is exactly the same as the last one. So I really enjoyed getting to connect with you at name of school and career fair on X date, and I appreciate you taking the time to answer my questions about, again, their company. This is where you pull from your notes and you share a short and specific detail from your conversation with them. Now, this next paragraph is where it's a little different. I'm reviewing all of the notes from our conversation so that I don't miss any important details, and I will be applying for the internship opportunity within the week. Now, this is important because not only are you showing them that you took notes and that you really care about making sure that you get this right, but you're also giving them a time frame for which you're applying within the week. Then you go on to say, once you and your team have had the chance to review my application materials, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any additional questions. Again, you're keeping that door open. The next paragraph matches the one in the last example I gave you, and go on to say that you're inspired by the work that their company is doing and that you believe that your, again, relevant skill or example of experience would allow you to add value to their team as an intern in a meaningful way. Then for the LinkedIn closeout, as I work on next steps, I also sent you an invitation on LinkedIn and look forward to connecting further. Thanks again for your time. Sign it off with your name. And for this strategy, when you're applying within the week, once you actually have had the opportunity to submit your application materials, then you want to go back and reply to your last email and briefly share with the recruiter that you're closing the loop to let them know that you've submitted your application, and that you look forward to hearing from them. As for the subject line for these follow-up emails, stick with something simple that identifies you and ties back to the event. For example, your name, follow-up from, name of your school, and career fair. So if I were sending a follow-up after my college career fair, it would read, Jenna Ziff, follow-up from Ohio State Fall Career and Internship Fair. Adding your name to the subject line helps it stand out, as the recruiter's likely receiving a lot of emails with very similar subject lines following a career fair. Now, if you didn't successfully get an email address for some of the recruiters that you met with during the career fair, not all is lost. Sure, it's not as easy to send a follow-up, but you can still try to track them down. And the good news is most recruiters live on LinkedIn, so chances are you won't have a hard time finding them there. When you do find them, you can send them an invitation to connect and include a brief message with it, providing context for who you are and thanking them for their time at the career fair. Now, it's not as ideal as an email because LinkedIn does limit the amount of characters that you can send in a connection invite message, but it's better than nothing. If you aren't on LinkedIn yet, or you are, but you know that you aren't utilizing it to its max potential, then consider taking my LinkedIn crash course for students. In it, I teach you everything that you need to know about optimizing your profile on LinkedIn, growing your network, searching for internship opportunities, and leveraging the platform to build your personal brand. You can check to see if the doors are open for enrollment to the LinkedIn course, or you can get on the wait list for the next opening at the internhustle.com/LinkedIn. I'll be sure to include the link in the description below this video as well. No matter what, make sure you're sending a follow-up email to each recruiter that you connect with at a career fair within 24 hours. Managing follow-ups in a timely and professional manner is a great skill to develop while you're in college, because it will remain essential throughout your career. Thanks for watching. If this video gave you some new insights today, please give it a like and share it with a friend or two. Hit that red subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on future videos. In support of your hustle, I'm Jenna from the INTERNHustle.com, and I'll see you next Monday.